Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Jesus Love You. So I just saw this horror movie, and it really freaked me out. It's one of those where afterwards, you're like looking around your back. Everything is kind of scary. And I'm here walking in the parking lot, and it's like, I'm all freaked out. And then I hear this. You hear that? You hear that? Right? So movies are good like that when they make you afraid of normal situations, right? When you went into the theater, you weren't afraid of going into the public bathroom, for example, or being in a room alone, whatever room that is. But after the movie, a simple thing like, you know, the ambience of the empty theater or the empty restroom, it freaks you out. So here I am getting all freaked out, and I hear this sound, and what do I see? I'm in the movie It. All of a sudden, I'm going to see Pennywise's head pop up. Like, what? And I had just walked past a car that had a Pennywise sticker. And now I see this, and I'm like, you know how the human imagination works. This is why horror, one of the many thousands of reasons why horror movies are so good. It just gets into the human psyche, you know, the basic things that we all deal with and fear. And also, it shows the power of the imagination, because beforehand, you weren't afraid of the sewer. Who was afraid of a sewer like that? But look at it. Look at that. Now, in the filmmaker's mind, in the artist's mind, it's like you see something like that, and you're like, oh my God, I got to make a movie out of that. Like, you just see one thing that we see in our everyday life, and as a creative person, you start to think, you start to, you know, formulate a story around that, right? The first movie I made was called Too Fresh. It was a short film, and it all started with me thinking of like just one scene, and then around that I built the whole movie, right? That's how it kind of, so like with this, it's like, you know, you see that and you're just like, I need to make a movie of that. I'm gonna have a clown's head pop up, and he's holding a balloon down there, and he's like, we all float down here. If you guys ever seen It, you know what I'm talking about. And as I step over this thing, I'm really afraid something's going to grab me. It's going to grab my foot, right? We were never afraid of like walking past a bed and something underneath grabbing you until all the horror movies that did that, you know, until Pet Sematary, the little guy with the little scalpel when he gets your ankle, and like ever since then you're just like, ah. Now I'm looking behind me like the thing's going to pop up, you know. But, you know, it has been done many times. You know, they've had sequels. I can't believe Tim Curry was the first Pennywise. You know, the remake was pretty good. It's got that one kid from Stranger Things. That wolf kid. And then they did the series. I thought that was pretty good. But anyway, horror movies are so cool. It's so bad. It's like so hard to make a bad horror movie. Like, I was thinking about that. Like, pretty much every horror movie in the world is good. Like, this, it's kind of hard to make a bad one. Although I did see Obsession, and I didn't like it. To me, that's a bad horror movie. But it's very rare. Right? Because all the elements of good filmmaking are in horror. More so than any other film. Or genre of films. So, the movie I just saw was called Leviticus. And it was a Christian church horror movie. Now, when I say Christian horror movie, I don't mean, what I mean is that there was tons of Christian elements. It was about the church and these kids who were going to this church and these families that are involved in the church. And it was really good. And the story is kind of wild. It's like about these two gay kids who are, you know, getting together, and they live in this small town. And they basically find out about them, and their parents bring them to this deliverance minister who's kind of like they're Protestant, but this guy kind of comes in to like help and do this therapy on them or whatever. But he's more like Catholic, because he has like a crucifix, and he does this kind of deliverance thing with them, and they start like convulsing and freaking out. And next thing you know, what it is that they basically get cursed, so that a demon, which I'm assuming is named Leviticus, because that's the name of the film, but although they don't like explicitly say that, the person who is attracted to the same sex, they see the person that they're attracted to, they're most attracted to, you find out later, and they go to get with them, and then the demon kills them because the demon is impersonating that person, and then it kills them. So the point of it is, the purpose of that was, knowing that the kid would then stay the F away from the person that they want, like that they are sexually attracted to, because they don't know if it's him or if it's the demon and it's going to kill them. It's a wild concept. So, yeah, so it was a pretty wild movie. And but I don't know, it just freaked me out. Like the way it was filmed. Like it kind of opens up with this girl. I don't want to be too explicit, but you know, she's getting with somebody, which I assume is a girl, but you don't see anything, right? The movie literally starts out with like a lifeguard. Like you see a lifeguard in a public pool. Well, you see like the clock, and then she shows up in the frame. She's walking, and she's like shutting down this public pool. It's inside, and it's very, and that's one thing that the director did well. Like he really caught ambient locations. I guess you could kind of say it's the idea of the back rooms. By the way, I saw the movie Backrooms. That movie's phenomenal. I gave that 5 stars. That's a really great movie if you guys haven't seen that. Horror-wise, it's great. Like it's even kind of like a fantasy. I didn't know much about the Backrooms. My friend was telling me about it when we saw it together, but it's really good. So in this case, he kind of showed Backrooms, but in this movie, I got even more afraid. I felt that anxiety as he shows like the huge pool area, you know, with the echoing. And so you've got the girls walking past the public shower in the pool room, and all of a sudden the water turns on, and she's out of the frame, and you just see the water turn on by itself. And she turns back, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" But there's nobody there. So you're like, what? Next thing you know, she's in the shower under the water, and she's moaning, and all of a sudden the camera's all the way back here, and it slowly pans in, and you see her in the foreground, or the background rather, but you hear it, you hear her, you know, what she's up to, and the camera pans in slow, and you're like, it's kind of wild, because you're like, it's kind of an uncomfortable scene, it's erotic, but it's also like, you don't know what's going on, so it's eerie, it's unsettling. And like, you're not even sure where to look. And also like, you're a Christian, so you're like, I shouldn't be watching this. In my case. But also like, you don't know how old the girl was. It was weird. It was like, all right, it just makes you feel uncomfortable. And you know, because you don't know if she's doing like a solo deal or if she's with somebody. Because like, yeah, I don't want to get too graphic, but like, you just don't know. And then it's going closer. Next thing you know, she goes down, and then she starts screaming, and then things like throwing her around, and she's all bloody, and then it grabs her back, but you don't see anything at any point. So anyway, it's pretty wild. But I was kind of joking that, you know, by the way, the moon is pretty wild tonight. It's like a half moon. It's pretty big looking. Hope we get raptured tomorrow. I really hope so. But yeah, I don't know. Look at this. I'm painting the roses red. I'm painting the roses red. Off with a head. It's a rose garden. It's a white rose garden. It reminds me of Alice in Wonderland. Yeah. So, I'm about done with this life. What do you think? Oh, speaking of Alice in Wonderland, yeah, look, somebody painted the roses red. Somebody did it. Look, all white and just one red bush. That's weird. Huh. I'm freaked out right now. I mean, I'm not that freaked out, but I'm a little freaked out. Yeah, I'm freaked out. Like, I literally feel like something's behind me every time I look forward. I'm like, and I'm picturing what was happening in the movie, like something showing up, and then like you can't really get away from it, and it's trying to kill you. And in this case, it was like the person that you're most attracted to, or the person that you want the most, that's what the demon comes as. It's like, whoa, what a concept, you know? So I was thinking for me, like, what would that be? But it's kind of a funny thing. I'm like, Jenna Ortega just shows up and you're like, hi? She's like, I've been watching your videos. And you're just like, hey, if Jenna Ortega wants to take me out, I'm fine, you know? But like, it wouldn't be just her. It'd be like a slew of people, slew of women just showing up like, we're coming for you, Mark. I'm like, please, I'm ready to go anyway. That's a good way to go. We're going to go. Although I think a rapture would be the best way to go, right? Just be taken up. Don't even have to pass away from the scene. What a gift that is, that rapture idea, right? Like, you don't have to die. Like, everybody in the world has to die except for those believers who will be alive at the time when Jesus comes back, as Paul describes. That's a very special thing. So, yeah. So I'll probably get over the jitters of the movie. Take a little bit, you know. Sometimes it takes a few hours. Sometimes it takes a full, like, almost 24. Where, like, at night it'll freak me out, but then the next night I'll be fine. If it's really bad, I have to sleep with the light on. Because, as I said, with the imagination, right? It's like, you weren't afraid of that thing, but now you saw it, so now your imagination is taking off and